He is not a Pan-Africanist. That's why Traore refused to meet him.
Is Jacob Zuma and the MK party gonna come back from Burkina Faso without having seen Traore? Let's read the tweet Gamzobe first.
A few moments later.
So am I expected to eat humble pie for expecting Africa's hero and Pan-Africanist Traore to be politically conscious enough to refuse to meet the sellout?
Hello and welcome to the channel. Let's get into it. As you have seen, after a lot of speculation and ridicule, Jacob Zuma, who had visited Burkina Faso on invitation together with some other African thought leaders, has finally gotten the opportunity to meet Burkina Faso's Ibrahim Traore. Take a look at this. What are your thoughts and sentiments around this? Please give this video a thumbs up as we take a look.
Do you think Traore is becoming a threat to African leaders?
He's not a threat.
Most African leaders.
He has become a model through which any African leader who is coming into power. I feel sorry for Biya and Cameroon, honestly.
I was going to come to the old people.
Years.
There's Biya and there's Alassane Ouattara, who is also 83. When you see these old leaders still stuck on that seat and still wanting to be president, what is the problem?
No, they don't want to be presidents.
What do they want?
They are funders.
And?
Want them in power. They are protected by those they've signed bilateral agreements with. And are you not aware that in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, the French are looking around looking for coups to push these guys out? Why? They want to renew the old contracts. This is business. Politics is a prostitute of economics. You talk about politics, they're talking about money and business, treaties, trade agreements, and whoever is in power must protect these trade agreements.
Baba finally got it. Finally got this opportunity to have a picture with Ibrahim Traore. But he also said a few things. I think it was after the meeting with Ibrahim Traore was briefing the media, when he said, South Africans, we need to correct a few mistakes. We need to give power or authority to the chiefs or kings in South Africa. Baba, I'm a custodian of the land. What do you think about that? Because he said we need to fix that. I remember a few years ago, as the president, we were talking a lot about taking the land back and giving it back to Africans or South Africans. But that opportunity has Lula when we were supposed to amend Section 25 of the Constitution. And whereas the EFF even said, we are going to give you our votes so that we can amend the Constitution. Now he's coming back and saying we need to correct that. Do you think that is a genuine call from Jacob Zuma? And he said MKP is going to win election. Election come 2026 and 2029. But let's see. There's Africa Maibuya, which is growing. On the ground, they're busy on the ground. We see the movement and all that. I don't know. What do you think about the EFF? Is it going to grow? Is it going to decline? So let's engage. Bafet, let me tell you something. When we come and engage here on this platform, so when you want to comment, let's engage. So it's going to incline each other politically. Nothing much. Sharp.
Hey, I can show ngempela. Abantu be-EFF ngempela umsholozo wabadlelani. Ade ngizwa nje lokube khala indaba ukuthi uZuma Ibrahim Traore unqabile ukuba ne-meet up no Jacob Zuma, kodwa ofakazi baya lokhuza bayakuphika lokho. Nazi ithombe nje bethu ziningi khona nalabo ehleli khona bebamba meeting bethu yini. Why spread amanga bafethu? Why for the why? Hayi inkulu into andlelayo nonxamalala ngifuna ungasho. Hayi inkulu pana. Hayi nangu-ke if you don't know now you know nigga nangu.
Our brothers here said this is a coup d'etat. is not a coup d'etat. This country decided to free itself 100% from the colonizers. The rulers of us here, our colleagues, can't see it.
So, Jacob Zuma has been in Burkina Faso for 5 days or more than 5 days now, ne? And Umzobe Makazela, who is the head of presidency, just posted something on X, ne? So, I want us to do a bet. Ukuti, is Jacob Zuma and the MK party gonna come back from Burkina Faso without having seen Traore? Well, normally, you know, when you go to a country, you see their presidents in London immediately. Maufika. But after this that he has posted, is it an indication that bazabuya bemfumene Traore or abazomfumana? Let me first read what he wrote, and then I want us to vote in the comment section. Ukuthi, do you think bazabuya Burkina Faso beyifumene na picture no Traore? Like, is Traore like gonna give in eventually? Oganya is he's gonna hold them out until they leave. Let's read the tweet Gamzobe first. So amidst the speculations that people were making, Guti, Traore is not agreeing to see Jacob Zuma, Mzobe posted this today around 4:00. Then he said, President Jacob Zuma in Burkina Faso. Then wafake camera wati loading. Of course, the only picture that everyone has been waiting for is a picture of Jacob Zuma with Ibrahim Traore, which Traore just has not availed himself. So, based on this tweet, is Mzobe saying that they are finally gonna get Traore, or is he just baiting us? What do you think?
Amanga lawa ukuthi uTraore unqabile ukuhlangana nomsholozi. And then all of a sudden mase kuvela ithombe isifuna ukuthi kushiwo ukuthi bebekhulumani. And then later on futhi sekuyiyo manje sizenze emuhle manje sipostana nezinto ezimayelana noTraore nomsholozi after it had said uTraore unqabile ukuhlangana nomsholozi.
So, is this the day that I eat humble pie for expecting Africa's hero to be politically conscious enough to understand that he should not meet Africa's sellout? Oh, so it seems like AI is playing games with me. Much better. Can never trust AI. So am I expected to eat humble pie for expecting Africa's hero and Pan-Africanist Traore to be politically conscious enough to refuse to meet the sellout who voted with France, NATO and the United States to kill Gaddafi so that they can take control of Libya's oil to deprive Africa of oil in future? Am I supposed to eat humble pie at a time where I expected Africa's hero to be politically conscious enough not to meet the sellout, at a time where the United States of America wants to invade Nigeria because Dangote has built the second biggest refinery in the world, the most sophisticated refinery in the world, that is beginning to process Nigeria's oil to give Nigeria all its fuel needs, and it has begun to meet those fuel needs and is about to start exporting this fuel to Africa so that Nigeria can take the position that was taken by Libya. Did I expect this man to meet a man that went into African countries without a passport, without a visa, and was given visas and passports by African countries, to now decide that his MK party will go around and try and win voters by looking for African foreigners, not European foreigners, asking them for their passports and asking for their deportation? Did I expect him to meet with the president who presided over the worst killings of Africans in South Africa, an anti-Pan-Africanist?
I think this country is a glaring example. This country, wherein those who oppressed them wanted to continue to do so. What was good with the leaders here, they said not now. And it was therefore important to discuss with the president here what can we do to ensure that this process that has been taken begins again in Africa to finally liberate Africa? If you look at what has happened, you will realize that the colonizers, since the time up to now, still believe that Africa belongs to them. And what we are discussing is, no, that time must end. We should run our own affairs. I'm very happy to have met my brother here, because I think he's something in Africa that Africa will always remember.
Awuthi ngiphendule nangu bafo la uthi uZuma ubeyaphi nje eBurkina Faso. Into engiyifila ngobaba uZuma, nizongicorrecta mangi wrong kulento le, kodwa ngifila ngathi mina unenzondo enkulu ubaba uZuma ngepower. Ngicabanga ukuthi leyo nzondo leyo mhlawumbe ingaphezulu kuka Ramaphosa. Njengamanje uRamaphosa une bad lokuthi vele akamthandi, bevele ngamthandi benayo kwi-ANC, benayo kwi-ANC usephinde futhi wayengayitshela ukuthi engaba upresident.
Well, there you have it. Those are some of the thoughts and sentiments coming in there. Yeah, Kala, as you have heard, those are some diverse and some thought-provoking views coming in there, and some obviously bayadelela just to get one into MKP. There's that rivalry, that goes on between EFF and MKP in general. Now, this is also fueled by the fact that when we talk about Ibrahim Traore, you'd always associate him with Julius Malema because of that Pan-Africanist stance. And then when you think of Jacob Zuma going to Burkina Faso, everyone will also just think that, oh, Ibrahim. So that is why there was just this tussle around him meeting Jacob Zuma. And let's also note that he went there on an invitation by a private institutional organization. It was not necessarily from the presidency of Burkina Faso. So it is commendable that the MKP presidency was able to organize this meetup eventually, right? And you have also seen that in that invitation, there were other African thought leaders that were involved in there, some of them being Bishop Maponga. Did you note what he said about how presidents end up getting captured? It's about serving a certain interest, and sometimes those interests are not necessarily what is best for that country in the long run. Maybe it would have benefited them for a short while, but in the long run, it ends up being a negative. And what Ibrahim is trying to avoid is not servicing his own people in the interest of other people. Now enter Jacob Zuma. You heard him also in his presentation after the meetup, trying to outline what they were talking about. He's definitely aligning himself with Ibrahim Traore, and he was even hinting that what he did was not wrong. Now the question is, would he have that view if he was still president? Because to have somebody to come in behind you and take over power outside of the democratic processes rather is a bit tricky, right? You know that it was justifiable if you look at it now in hindsight. However, at that moment, it was definitely a coup. What are your thoughts on those sentiments that he shared, that it wasn't a coup rather, and then you hear him saying that they will meet again? If you watch even on other platforms, that they should meet again because we need more of this in Africa. Aibo Zuma. Yeah, on this one, the MKP won. They got their picture and they have their bragging rights. But now the EFF said, okay, fine, we lost on the ridicule part. Now let's talk about the content. What was he saying? What did he mean by One Africa? Guys, let me know what your sentiments are down below. Please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you on the next video.